after.
Come again?
At some point in time, a stranger has thought of killing you. Selfies are responsible for more deaths every year than sharks.
No.
There's a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana, and people who go in there supposedly lose their minds. When a person dies, they have 7 minutes of brain activity left in which they see a dreamlike sequence of their memories.
Oh.
Most serial killers are born in November.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel, man. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you're brand new to this channel, man, what we do is we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos to IG reels, Facebook reels, man. Anything weird, usual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the Seekers, man, who's been tapping in with to the channel. I appreciate that, guys. So subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that like button, man, so we could grow. We could find even more Seekers. Found this video for you guys today. Let's do what we do best, man. Let's seek the truth.
Man murdered his wife and 3 children before turning the gun on himself. He survived his attempt to take his own life, and this is the mugshot that came out of it. Meet Charles Robert Gillard Sr. In May of 2022, Charles snapped. At the end of May in 2022, at around 2:30 p.m., the police were called to this residence in Michigan. When they arrived, they were met with an extremely gruesome scene. They found the bodies of a mother, a father, and 3 children.
Damn.
All had been shot, and nobody had any idea what had happened. The children were identified as Ronald, Joshua, and Dawn Gillard. They were only 3, 4, and 6 years old. And the woman whose body they found was 40-year-old Dawn Gillard. The first responders who responded to this crime scene have gone on the record and stated that it was the most gruesome thing they'd ever come across. The first responders, in fact, had no words to offer upon seeing the scene. It was truly unlike anything they had ever witnessed. So I haven't been able to find any more information about what exactly led up to this incident, but it's known that on that day, Charles Gillard took a gun, murdered his wife and 3 children, and then tried to take his own life, but failed miserably. He survived his own unaliving attempt, spent weeks in the hospital recovering, and now he's going to prison. I'm honestly glad he lived so that he could be sent to prison, because this man really, really needs to suffer.
This man was caught.
Seekers, man, what do you guys think about that freaking case, bro? Like, what caused them to, the thing that's getting to me is, man, I'm trying to figure out what caused them to snap in order for them to do that horrific act, bro. It's like one day was just perfectly fine, and one day he just snapped and just decided to end it all, man. And he tried to even freaking end it on himself, try to turn it on himself, but that didn't even work, bro. He said, nope, you gotta face the consequences for your actions, man. He was trying to get out of it. Nope. No way, bro. Gotta face it. Gruesome case, man.
Caught on camera murdering his wife, and he only got 10 years in prison. Carrie
that,
Birmingham, who was 60 years old, shot his wife Patricia Birmingham, who was 48 years old. He shot her 3 times outside their home in Spring, Texas, and the couple had been arguing for about 30 minutes after Carrie allegedly discovered the affair his wife was having. This incident was captured on video by his wife Patricia, and in the disturbing video, Carrie can be seen walking in the driveway with a bathrobe on and a shotgun in his hand. Carrie can also be heard telling his wife, quote, "Okay, bye. You're going to meet Jesus. I hope it was worth it," end quote, before shooting her 3 times and killing her. Whatever you do, don't look up the video. It honestly is pretty disturbing, and I wouldn't recommend watching it. After doing this, Carrie was arrested and charged with murder, being held on a $200,000 bond, and recently in 2024, Carrie Birmingham pleaded guilty to the murder, but claimed he shot his wife in the heat of the moment. And despite the jury being all females, the woman sentenced Carrie to 10 years in prison, with parole eligibility in 5 years. Now I'm going to play a short clip from the video showing Carrie talking to Patricia before he shot her dead.
Video? I'll pull it. A man doesn't pull it. Okay. Alright, goodbye, Bruce. Nice to meet you. You doing me too.
This poor 9-year-old.
Like, man, listen, I know we saw the video, but I didn't know that he freaking shot her 3 times and he still got away with it, man. It's like, what more do people gotta do? She literally caught him in 4K, and he only still got 10 years off that, bro. How is that even possible, Seekers? Like, truly. I'm gonna need someone in the comments down below, man, to explain that to me, bro. Like, she literally caught him in 4K, recorded the whole thing, and he still only got 10 years. It's like the freaking justice system, bro. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, bro. It's never like it can truly be balanced. There was an all-female jury to it, and he still got freaking 10 years. It was like everything was stacked against him, and he just beat all the odds. It's mind-blowing, Seekers.
Girl constantly heard noises in her head for years until doctors made a terrifying discovery that will shock you. This is the story of Leah, a 9-year-old child with an adorable little face. She hears non-stop scratching in her head, as if someone was scratching inside her head. At first, everyone thought she was making it up, that she had too much imagination, that maybe she had seen a horror movie at a friend's house. But Leah insisted, "Mom, it scratches all the time." Her mother, worried about her little girl, takes her to the doctor, then another one, and then another one. Each time it's the same old story. She might just need some rest. It might be psychological. But medications, naps, nothing works. Leah is still haunted by this noise. Then one day, when her mother is at her wit's end, she hears about Dr. Joy, a rare and unusual specialist. He examines Leah, and boom, he discovers the craziest thing he's ever seen. Do you want to know? I'll tell you everything, but not right away. Comment strange story for part 2.
Serial killer facts that will haunt your nightmares. Part 4. Researchers used AI deepfake technology to compile the faces of every serial killer into one man. Dude looks like a psychopath. If you look anything like that, you're probably a serial killer. Serial killer Ed Kemper was friends with the police officers who were investigating his murders. They all hung out at a bar together called the Jury Room. His nickname was Big Ed, and when he confessed to them, they thought it was a joke. Jeffrey Dahmer once made a drink laced with sleeping pills for a guest, but accidentally drank it himself. He later woke up to find that his soon-to-be victim had robbed him while he was sleeping. In 1906, a Moroccan murderer was sentenced to be walled up alive after he was found guilty of killing 36 women. His cries for help were heard for 2 days straight before he went silent.
That thing about the freaking AI, man. It's about how the AI just compiled all those faces together. I'm telling you, bro. Technology, man, it's getting very scary, bro. Like, imagine somebody looked like, I guess, that face that the AI compiled, man. They would be getting freaking... They would, I guess, be freaking under some scrutiny, bro. Even though they didn't do anything, it's just kind of like the way it looks, and you know how people go off based on technology seekers, man. People act like technology is the law, man. If something happens, or if they see something, or they hear something online, they just take it and they're home with it, bro. No regards to the freaking consequences it could bring. That's why I said seekers, man. We always gotta be aware, bro. We gotta tap in with the seekers, man, bro. We be exposing the truth out here. This guy.
There is a brand new update that just broke on the Riley Strain disappearance. Now, if you don't know what this is about, I hadn't been following the story, but this is about 22-year-old Riley Strain. He was last seen when he was stumbling away from a bar, and this was in Nashville. He was there on a trip with his frat. You can see him here. He was caught on all these different cameras, and the last place that he was seen on camera was at the Gay Street Connector. This was at 9:52 on March 8th. Nobody has seen him since. Now, this is allegedly a map of his last known foot traffic. His cell phone pinged right at the yellow circle at the top. That was at the James Robertson Parkway. That was at around 10 p.m. It never pinged after that. So today, they finally released new information. They found Riley's bank card. It was washed up on the riverbank of the Cumberland River, and this was on March 17th. And I know this is a lot to pack into one video, so we are going to go into this case in depth on the podcast. While there's still no sign of him, the most disturbing element is just how intoxicated he was allegedly off one drink.
If you die in this VR game, you die in real life. Yes, this video is not fake. This is genuinely something that was just invented, and you won't believe who by. And it's not as crazy a person as you might think, which kind of makes it even more terrifying. It is almost unbelievable the world's first VR headset that literally kills you if you die in the game has just been created. And just quickly, TikTok are now showing you your lookalike on the app. Just tap share copy more, and if you've got one, it will come up. The man who invented it, Palmer Luckey, is a leader in VR, a government contractor, and the creator of Meta's Oculus headset. So this is the real deal. The headset is hooked up to 3 explosive charge modules that sit above the screen. The charges are aimed directly at the user's foreground, and should they go off, would obliterate the head of the user. He said he created it because only the threat of serious consequences can make the game feel real to you and every other person in the game.
Hell
He even
no.
says that he wants to work on an anti-tampering model that cannot be removed or destroyed. So if you decide to put it on, there is no going back. Thankfully, this headset is not commercially available yet. Would you play this with any of your friends?
This is the scary truth.
Seekers, would you guys use that freaking headset, bro? I mean, to me, hell no, man. Who wants to freaking... But that's the virtual reality. It's not supposed to be freaking real, man. It's like they taking that freaking concept and they spinning it. Like, who wants to freaking play with a game that'll risk your life? Like I said, and he trying to make it for a way where, like, you can't take it off, man, where it could be, like, truly real. Like, whoa, so if something about to happen, man, you can't take it off. You just gonna have to just say, that's it. I'm telling you, man, Seekers, bro, this technology, this stuff, man, it's getting dangerous. Tell me down below, guys, would you guys play that VR freaking with that VR headset? You're gonna have to stay up to date with that one, bro.
Truth about iPhones. iPhones actually listen to everything that you say, and it's pretty creepy. This is why if you're ever talking about something with your friends, then suddenly whatever you were talking about comes up on your timeline hours later, well, that's because your iPhone is listening to you. Next, your iPhone tracks you everywhere you go. This is how the iPhone knows how long it takes to get to places from where you are. If you want proof, go to your settings and then hit privacy, then click location services at the top, and it will most likely say on. It's pretty creepy that they can hear and track everything we do, and I mean everything, because who doesn't have their phone on them nowadays?
Seekers, but I haven't noticed that a couple of times, man. Like, sometimes you mention something, bro, and then on your phone, and sometimes like it just pop up, or you trying to type something in Google, just pops up. I'm like, and I've been noticing that a couple of times, bro. So now it's nice to know that I wasn't going freaking crazy, man. You know, I got a freaking iPhone too as well, so they freaking watching the hand and everything I'm doing. I'm about to turn that location during off, bro. You can't track me, Seekers, bro. I'm trying to be unplugged, man. Seekers, man, tell me down below if you guys got an iPhone, bro. Tell me, guys, if you guys check your settings, man. Turn your location, I guess, services off so they can stop tracking you.
You ever see a picture that makes you want to scream? Now, of course, when you look at this photo, there's not a lot that you're looking at. This is old door cam footage. All had to do with an event that took place in an apartment complex in Philadelphia. From what I could find, the story came from this woman. Her name was only listed as Sharon M., who was having problems in the apartment building with what she thought were maybe like teenagers, like ding-dong ditchers, people who were antagonizing her door. So a camera was installed. What they caught on the camera, nobody expected. Also, if you are a fan of all things chilling, make sure to go check out my show, Creep Time the Podcast. So in the story, this is a still that came from the doorbell cam. At face value, it just looks like a dark hallway, maybe at night. But look a bit closer. Background of the photo. There is a man standing there in a suit. It was never a teenager, it was never a prank, it was whoever this was. If you get even closer, you realize he's wearing a mask.
Crazy serial killer facts that will make you scream. Part 3. Jeffrey Dahmer gave the people in his apartment building sandwiches that had been made from his victims' flesh. Pee-wee Gaskins, the most prolific serial killer in South Carolina, drove around in a hearse with a bumper sticker that read, "I haul dead people." He told people that he needed it to take the bodies of people he killed to his private cemetery.
Insane facts, Seekers.
Things that bother you, they never bother me. I feel happy and fine, living in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Haven't got a laugh, I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Seekers, I wonder if those homes got, I guess, you know, demolished because of the acts that they did. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. That's kind of, I think it's maybe like a nature versus, you know, nurture argument. The way they were brought up, did that make them turn out how they were, or it could have been something else. I'll have to check that out, see if those houses are still up.
He kept receiving twisted texts from his girlfriend, but how could that be possible if she was missing? The disappearance of Carrie Barber tells a story about how Dave receives text messages from his girlfriend Carrie even though she's missing. No one knew for 3 years that someone was pretending to be Carrie. I'm partnering with Lifetime's Right From the Headlines to get you excited about their true crime films. To find out what happens next, make sure to check out Lifetime's Right From the Headlines, The Disappearance of Carrie Barber at mylifetime.com/watchripped.
Secret, should we check that out?
Ways to survive an encounter with Keith Lee. To the untrained eye, Keith Lee may seem like an ordinary humanoid food critic, but the only thing critical about him is the damage he'll dole out upon you if you invoke his wrath. So if you're unlucky enough to encounter this cryptid, you're going to need to know how to survive. The first rule you'll need to follow is to never assume you're safe, no matter the circumstances. Keith Lee is the spiritual leader of an army of devoted followers ready to spy, fight, and die for him. So if you're going to survive, the best thing you can do is to treat everyone as if they were Keith himself. Rule number 2, if you upset Keith, don't try to fight back. You won't win. You're probably a goner already, but the best thing you can do is to beg for mercy and hope for lenience. Finally, if all else fails, you'll need to retreat to a remote area and live out the rest of your days in exile. Keith tends to frequent urban environments, so this might buy you some time. However, he has the uncanny ability to smell good food from over 100 miles away. So if you're going to take this option, your diet will need to consist of raw potatoes and Vaseline. Comment what your favorite food is, and may God save us all.
Had to be a troll, right? When that Keith Lee stuff. Some people might believe that. I don't know. I don't think I believe that secret.
This man found a real-life money glitch and became a millionaire overnight. In 2011, Dan Saunders was out partying when he needed to withdraw some more cash. So he stepped out of the bar and found the closest ATM. When he started using it, he noticed that the ATM was letting him withdraw way beyond what he had in his account. There was a glitch between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. when the ATMs got disconnected from the internet. That allowed him to basically create money out of thin air. So he decided to take full advantage of it. Over the next 4 months, he threw lavish parties, chartered private jets, got female escorts, paid off some of his friends' university fees, and much more until he had spent around $1.6 million. But at that point, he felt guilty and turned himself in, and spent 1 year in jail and is now back to working as a bartender.
This man was so...
My man fought the infinite money glitch, bro. And because of the person where he was, he turned himself in, man. You know, not a lot of people would do that. They would just, if you can continue with that glitch. That's insane, bro. Do you know about how freaking, like, you go into the ATM in the middle of the night, man, you saying, let me just get something. Oh, keep giving me money? Oh, I said, let me keep going back, bro. He found like you said, a glitch in the daggone system, bro. Because they say it's between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. I wonder if anybody else tried that, bro, to see if that actually will work again. Seekers, man, if you had that freaking infinite money glitch, would you give it up? I need to know. Not a lot of people would.
Look into a plane engine, and whatever you do, don't look up the pictures. This is the Air Astana 2004 incident, which is one of the most shocking and tragic events in the history of aviation. The victim was Igor Yelfimov, and he was sucked into the plane's engine while he was working near the aircraft. The horrific incident occurred on July 13th, 2004, and it was captured on CCTV video. And the video has recently resurfaced on the internet, sparking renewed interest and curiosity among the viewers. Igor was a 26-year-old maintenance engineer, and he was preparing the aircraft for a flight from Moscow when the engine suddenly turned on and he was sucked into the engine of the Boeing 737. Right when this happens, he completely disappears and blood and body parts go everywhere. All over the airport runway is bits and pieces of Igor, and it's an extremely disturbing sight. The video is extremely shocking and gory, and I really don't recommend looking it up. 1 second Igor was there, and the next he was just completely erased. I never really understood the power and how dangerous plane engines are until I saw this video. We all heard about wood chipping incidents and workplace incidents, but somebody getting sucked into a plane engine is definitely a first for me. Again, I want to say I don't recommend looking it up or watching it, but if you do, this is a massive trigger warning.
A mother who left her child home.
Freaking getting sucked into a jet engine, man. We know those notes are powerful, but Yeah, like I said, just a few seconds he went in and then he was gone. I didn't realize, man, how powerful a freaking plane or a plane engine is. Always gotta be careful, Seekers, man. We working like jobs like that, you have to be like especially careful because you gotta watch your environment because something like that could happen, man. Can't believe there's a video of that actually out. I don't think I need to see that. That don't need to scar my mind.
Home alone to die while the mom vacationed in Puerto Rico.
This one is going to make all you parents out there so angry you'll be seeing red. Imagine you go on vacation. And imagine you go on vacation for 10 days to Puerto Rico. Now, imagine that you left your 16-month-old daughter at home, alone, in a crib, with no food and no water for those 10 days.
Animals take care of their infants better. The thought of this child dying every day while she's having fun, humanity can't stomach that.
The judge passed down a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge said this sentence will put her in a cell until she dies just like she put her child in that crib to die. The only difference is the Department of Corrections would at least give her food and water.
Mother Gothel from Tangled is the evil queen from Snow White. At the end of Snow White, the evil queen falls off a cliff, but we never actually see her die. But what does happen is that she finds the magical flower from the movie Tangled, which makes her young and beautiful again. Because remember, both the evil queen and Mother Gothel were obsessed with being young and beautiful. Also, it's very convenient that at the end of Snow White, the evil queen falls off a cliff. And in the movie Tangled, Mother Gothel finds the magical flower at the edge of a cliff. And to add on to that point further, both movies take place in Germany. Both women have the same exact dagger and look very similar in their older state. Also, even though both women never had children of their own, both of their names actually translate to mother. Also, the famous red apple from the movie Snow White actually shows up in Tangled here after Mother Gothel stabs Flynn.
These inmates saved this prison guard.
Really? I never even noticed that, man. Like I said, Seekers, the details and stuff in the movies and shows we watch, man. There's always, like I said, a freaking backstory between them. But I never even thought about it now. Now, you know, Snow White classic story, bro. How they put that in Tangled, man. She was the witch that survived at the end. These Seekers, you guys believe that? Should we dive deeper into that, man? Those freaking cases always interest me. I think I'm gonna have to dive deeper into that one, bro. Tell you the time, every freaking video, movie, shows, and movies, man, there's always some backstories between them.
Life. In a remarkable display of humanity and compassion, a group of inmates at a prison demonstrated that empathy transcends circumstances. And just quickly, TikTok are now showing you your lookalike on the app. Just tap share copy more, and if you've got one, it will come up. A prison guard, while on duty, suffered a cardiac emergency. A situation that quickly became life-threatening as he lost consciousness. The inmates, who were positioned at the top of the stairs, noticed the guard's distress. Despite their complex relationship with the guard as prisoners and the potential consequences of breaking protocol, they made a swift and courageous decision. Instead of walking away, they rushed down the stairs to assist the guard in his moment of need. Their actions were not just about providing immediate physical aid. They also radioed for help, ensuring that the guard received professional medical attention as soon as possible. The inmates' quick response and willingness to help were crucial in saving the guard's life. Following the incident, these inmates were hailed as heroes. They expressed that their decision to help was influenced by mutual respect. The guard had always treated them with dignity and respect, and they felt compelled to reciprocate in his time of need.
Seekers, man, I'm telling you, bro. That's a freaking case right there, man. If you treat somebody with respect, bro, like imagine if, you know, if it was like a typical guard relationship, I guess him, rest of the prison, stuff like that, they probably just saw him just say, hey, not our problem, just walked away. But because he chose to be that type of person, man, I guess that was good karma in them, bro. They saved him. Even though, like I said, it put them in jeopardy, but they saved him because, like I said, he was treating them with respect, bro. That's what you gotta do nowadays, man. Just treat everybody with respect. There's some good things that happen, man. Good energy, good karma. I guess it will come back to you.
Terrifying games you don't want to play, part 51. The White Man Ritual. The rules for this game were first discovered etched into the side of a cave along with the remains of several humanoid specimens. There is no way of telling exactly how old it is, but it is considered to be extremely dangerous, so proceed with caution. To play this game, you will need to acquire the following items: a single white candlestick, a bag of marbles or small stones, and a bucket of white paint. You will also need to recruit another player, and it is recommended that you solicit the help of an adversary or stranger for this role, since the loser will be punished severely, and you don't want that to be a friend or family member. Once you have completed these tasks, the gameplay can begin. First, you and your opponent will need to draw white X's on every entranceway to the playing space you have selected, while saying the words, "The game is beginning, we need a referee, white man come and see," with each drawing. Next, you will need to light your candle and distribute 4 stones or marbles to each player. It is crucial that you do not use artificial lighting, as it hurts the white man and will cause him to go into a violent frenzy against both players. If you have completed all of the steps correctly up until this point, you will feel a gust of wind in the room indicating the arrival of the white man. You will not be able to see him, but he will observe you and the game, waiting patiently for a victor. At this point, you and your opponent will need to hide a certain amount of your marbles in your right hand. It will then be your job to try and guess how many marbles your opponent has chosen to hide in their hand, while simultaneously tricking them into making an inaccurate guess about you. The first player to make their guess correctly will be granted an additional 10 years of healthy and prosperous life by the mysterious white man. The catch is that those years will be physically subtracted from their opponent's life. This game can be played repeatedly until both players are satisfied and agree to exit, or one player has no more life to give. Comment if you would play this game and follow for more.
After this woman was murdered, police used a very unusual tactic to find her killer. Rachel Panowski was an 18-year-old mother of 1 living in Mission, Canada. Her half-brother was 33-year-old Matthew Panowski, and the pair shared a dad. Their relationship was far from a normal sibling one though, and they had a traumatic past. When Rachel was little, she was SA'd by Matthew. He was 15 years old when he abused her. Now Rachel did have to endure a very stressful court case, but Matthew was finally given probation for the crime. Unfortunately, it wasn't the last of Matthew that Rachel would see. In 2013, she was loving life being a mother to a 1-year-old son. On the 16th of March that year, Matthew would go and visit Rachel at her home. He told her he wished to make amends and apologise for the past. Rachel's friends knew that Matthew was heading over, so they were texting her to check on her. She texted them back to say that the pair had had an emotional conversation, but this was actually the last time they would ever hear from her. 3 days later, her body was discovered in Chilliwack, and she had been suffocated. Her friends told police of the meeting that she'd had with her half-brother, and police immediately questioned him. He, however, denied any knowledge of her disappearance and murder. Investigators knew they needed to come up with a clever way to get Matthew to implicate himself. Time went on, and in 2016, investigators decided to go undercover. They decided to get an undercover officer to pose as the head of a criminal organization. The officer went by the name of Mr. Big and befriended Matthew. He earned his trust, and it wasn't long before Matthew confessed. He said that he was upset that Rachel was, quote, acting like a victim, when he was the one who suffered by being charged and going through the court process for SAing Rachel. Shockingly, Matthew told Mr. Big that he'd hit her over the head, pinned her down, and suffocated her. He admitted to taking her body to his house in Abbotsford and SAing her dead body. Finally, in 2018, Matthew pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and in court the judge called his behaviour repulsive. He was given an automatic life sentence but is eligible for parole after 13 years.
Breaking true crime.
How the hell did he think he was a victim of what happened? It's like people like that, see, because I'm telling you, I'm dangerous, man. They can't take a freaking accountability for his actions. You did something to that and to your sister as well, and you thought that you was in the freaking, that you got mad when she tried to freaking get you to face the consequences for your actions. Hey man, that case went, I guess, unsolved for like 3 years. They really had to go undercover. It shows you how deep that freaking case got. Like he had to freaking go undercover, man. in order to get him to confess. It's actually crazy to think about, Seekers. Maybe it's not the only case, man, that's like that, bro.
News: California pastor allegedly hired hitmen to kill his daughter's boyfriend, and he paid them tens of thousands of dollars, all because he did not approve of the boyfriend. On October 21st of 2023, the boyfriend did get shot in a drive-by shooting at around 7 p.m. He was rushed to the hospital due to gunshot wounds, but he survived. So Samuel Pasillas behind me, the pastor and the father to this daughter, actually paid the hitmen $40,000 to do this. Damn. So obviously the pastor gave all these hitmen the location of where the boyfriend was staying at, all this information. They apparently surveyed him for weeks before committing the hit. That is kind of terrifying to think about. Now, about a week ago, on March 13th, they finally got enough information to put Samuel Pasillas, the pastor who called this hit, in jail. They also arrested Juan Sobreros, who they believe was an accomplice to this. Both of the men are being charged with conspiracy to commit murder, and they are both being held on a $1 million bail. The police are also looking for one more person of interest, but these two are going behind bars. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Heard about freaking protective dads, man, but just because you didn't approve of the boyfriend, you just wanted to take him out? I'm telling you, Seekers, bro. People, man, when it comes to their loved ones, bro, when they be making these choices, man, they really be losing their minds, bro. Like, man, you understand, man, I guess if you don't understand, if you don't like your boyfriend's your daughter's boyfriend, man, but to put an actual head out on him, bro, they said they paid him like 40 grand as well, man. He must have not really had liked him, bro. It's crazy, man. You gotta watch who you get to a relationship with nowadays, man. People, man, especially coming out of parents, bro, they be crazy. Seekers, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker, seeking the truth. So I appreciate you guys. Like I said, guys, hit that like button, man, subscribe, hit that post notification, man, so we could grow the seekers, man. We could grow even more. I've been seeing our numbers, man, they be getting better, but like I said, seekers, bro, I've been doing daily uploads this whole month, man. So can we get a clapping out, man? I want the clapping emojis in the comments down below, man. I haven't missed a day, so I'm really proud of myself for that. We're gonna keep going, seekers. We're gonna continue to grow. I'm out. You guys gonna catch you in the next one. Peace, seekers. What's up, seekers? Welcome back to the channel, man. Hopefully you guys you're doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new here, man, what we do is we break down scary and creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos to IG reels, Facebook reels, man. Anything weird, usually unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the seekers who's been tapping in with us, man, subbing up to the channel, liking the videos. I greatly appreciate that, man. That's how we grow the seekers. That's how we grow our community. So guys, hit that like button, subscribe. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best. Seek the truth, seekers. Here we go.
The worst thing I've ever heard of happening at a theme park. This roller coaster was called the Smiler at Alton Towers in the UK. This is the promo for the ride. It was supposed to be really, really creepy.
Join us.
This happened on June 2nd, 2015. The staff sent an empty car to test the tracks, and the car stopped in the middle of the tracks of the roller coaster. They then sent a car full of people down the tracks when this empty car was just sitting here. So the people collided into the empty roller coaster car. I obviously can't show you the video on here or this video will get taken down, but it's terrifying because these people see the car sitting there and they know they're going to crash into it. And there's a video of the aftermath where the car that they're in is just swinging back and forth and they're screaming and crying in pain. It's horrible. 5 people needed serious treatment. 2 people shattered their knees, and 1 person had to get their leg amputated. It's all so terrifying. I can't even imagine. And of course, this video is informational, and I mean no disrespect to anyone involved. If you like my content, follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
Surgery in the 8th.
Seekers, bro. Like I said, I'm not even that kind of big on roller coasters, man. I remember when I went to the freaking amusement park, bro. So everybody's getting on the freaking big roller coasters. I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. That ain't for me. I don't know, like a couple, man. But that's freaking insane, bro. The head that they said they sent a roller coaster ahead and it stopped mid tracks, and they still sent the other one full of people. Like, I don't know what was going through that person's head when they decided to do that plan, but that was like a freaking demented plan, bro. Like, who does something like that, man? Just to see, I guess, to see what type of results they can get. And that promo was freaking weird as hell too, Seekers, man. I guess that promo was a sign, bro. Crazy.
1800s was fucking insane. Literally no anesthesia, no fucking drugs. You was awake while motherfuckers was chopping you up. One of the professional choppers, Robert Liston, was literally one of the fastest surgeons, which is good because you obviously want that shit to be over with fast. One day he was working so fast on a patient that he accidentally cut off 2 of his assistant's fingers. Both the patient and his assistant later died of gangrene. Oh, that's not all. Also, during the procedure, he accidentally swiped his blade past one of the elderly doctor's coats. The elderly doctor thought he was cut and literally went into shock and had a heart attack. So this motherfucker literally killed 3 people trying to save 1.
Crazy Seekers.
This teen took revenge on his ex in the most horrific way. On June 3rd, 17-year-old Madison Schmitz was stabbed by her ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Spencer Pearson, outside a restaurant in Jacksonville. On this day, Madison, her mother Jackie, and a friend were sitting at a restaurant named Mr. Chubby's Wings when they noticed Spencer sitting at a table not too far from them. You see, Madison and Spencer had been broken up for a couple of months now, but he has been harassing her by following her to school and leaving notes on her car. So when they spotted Spencer sitting close to them at the restaurant, they quickly left. Spencer followed Madison and her mother to the parking lot. He threw Madison to the ground and began stabbing her. Madison was stabbed 15 times. Many of these wounds hit her back, which caused her to be paralyzed. Madison's mother was also stabbed in the head and leg while she tried to protect her daughter. This man who happened to be there intervened and tried to stop Spencer, and as a result, he was stabbed in the hand. When police were on their way, Spencer slit his throat in an attempt to take his own life, but he was unsuccessful. Spencer has been charged with 2 counts of attempted premeditated murder and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
So about 10 minutes.
Seekers, man. Like I said, you gotta watch out for people like that, bro. When you're in a relationship, man, because once it ends or something, bro, you don't know that'll send them over a cliff or not. And look what happened, man. Just falling and stalking her, bro. And look at the result of what happened, man. Such a tragic case. See him, like, imagine you going to like a restaurant, I guess you with your parents or something, and your freaking ex, it's just like you see him following you. That would always throw me off right there, but I wouldn't even actually try to leave the restaurant because you want witnesses, man. In case something trying to happen, something try to go down. Look what happened. As soon as they left, that's when he made his move. Things, man, people would do, bro, just to get back at their ex in a relationship. It's truly terrifying, Seekers.
Minutes ago, there was an update in the disappearance of Nicola Bully. Nicola went missing last Friday whilst walking her dog near the River Wire. And just moments ago, police released a CCTV image of a woman walking her dog who they now believe may have been the last person to see Nicola. It's important to note that the police want to talk to this woman as a potential witness and not a potential suspect. In fact, police have now said that they have no reason to suspect that a third party is involved with Nicola's disappearance. Authorities are continuing an extensive search of the river, as well as searching an old abandoned house near to where Nicola went missing. Hopefully, Nicola will be located soon and her family and friends will have answers.
They gotta locate her soon.
A man just tried to end the lives of a woman and 2 young children by driving his Tesla off of a 250-meter cliff. The only problem is, all 4 of them somehow survived. The cliff is known as Devil's Slide, and when authorities were informed of the incident, they assumed that they'd be retrieving bodies, until they noticed movement from inside the vehicle. One official said, "We go there all the time for cars over the cliff, and they never live." This was an absolute miracle. The man and the woman sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries, while the 2 children came out unharmed. So the question is, was this extremely lucky or a W for Tesla?
Damn. Are Teslas that durable, Seekers? If you can tell the name of that freaking cliff they went off, that's like a bad omen, bad sign already. But to hear that they had the 2 of those had non-significant injuries and the kids came out unscathed, that's just a pure miracle right there, Seekers. I don't know if that's Tesla or if that was something else, man. But he tried to end it all, bro, and nothing even happened, bro. Whew. Somebody was looking out for that whole family. What do you guys think, Seekers, man? That's a bizarre case, bro. Truly.
Do not watch this video unless you have a very strong stomach. This case is truly sickening. On August the 31st, 2019, Margaret Sumney was unreachable. Her family knew something was wrong. They tried and failed to get hold of her for 2 days before notifying police to ask them to do a welfare check. When police went to her house in Pennsylvania, what they discovered was horrifying. They found shattered glass all over the floor and blood smeared on the walls. They found the 67-year-old's body in the bath. She'd been beaten to death. The autopsy revealed that she died from blunt force trauma to the head. Police interviewed her son David, who initially denied having anything to do with her death. However, police searched his phone and found absolutely disgusting images. They uncovered 277 sickening pictures, including selfies of David with her body, his face smeared in her blood, and doing a thumbs up pose. Police also discovered that David was in possession of his mum's jewellery and several blank checks. He also had a record of previously assaulting his mother twice and attacking his now deceased father once. The same year as his mum's murder, he allegedly waterboarded and strangled his ex-girlfriend in an Atlantic City hotel. It's reported, though, that he just slipped through the cracks in the police databases, allowing him to go on to offend again. He was soon arrested, and it was found that when he'd committed the murder of his mother, he'd taken a large amount of Adderall. His defense argued that he had diminished responsibility due to his substance and alcohol use. Originally, he was facing charges of first-degree murder and abuse of a corpse. However, due to a legal loophole, he entered a guilty plea, so he would only be charged with third-degree murder. He was sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison. Terrifyingly, as he's now been in prison since 2019, and due to his good behaviour behind bars, he could be released in just 17 years.
Seekers, man, what do you guys think? I don't think he should get freaking off like that, man. It's like, bro, like they said, he had a pattern or history of attacking people before, and they said they didn't pick up on him because he just slipped through the freaking cracks, man. I'm telling you, man, the system, sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not, man. But they had, like you said, he had a history of doing that to people, and he just let it slip through the cracks, and they said due to a loophole, he got that low sentence. And the head could be even lowered again. I'm like, I don't think so, Seekers, man. And he did that to his own freaking mom, bro. Your own blood, bro. Can't trust anybody, man. Family, friends, nobody's the exception. What do you guys think, Seekers?
This is a man who killed his family twice. Gregory Green is a
convicted murderer who completely failed at his second chance at life. In his early 20s, he married Tanya Green. It wasn't long into the marriage that Gregory started to show some signs of abusiveness, such as jealousy, anger, and violence. While Tanya was 6 months pregnant with Gregory's child, she threatened to leave him for good once she got home. But Tanya never got the chance because as soon as she got home, Gregory stabbed her with a steak knife 10 times, killing her and their unborn child. Gregory was given a 15 to 25-year sentence in prison, and during his time there, he was denied parole 4 times. However, during his time in prison, he gained lots of support from friends and family and grew really close to a pastor named Fred Harris, who helped him find God, and he was his biggest supporter of getting him out. In 2008, Gregory was released on parole after serving 16 years in prison. And after just 2 years on parole, he was a completely free man. Shortly after that, he married his second wife, Faith Harris Green, who was the daughter of the pastor he was working with in prison. They were married for 6 years, and Faith had a 19 and 17-year-old child from a previous marriage, and Gregory and Faith had a 5 and 6-year-old child. Over the course of their marriage, Gregory started to show the same signs of abusiveness as he showed before, and Faith also tried to file a restraining order but was denied. Things got really ugly in 2016 when Gregory poisoned his 2 young children that were sleeping upstairs, took Faith to the basement, tied her to a chair, and beat her. He then brought down his stepchildren and shot them in front of her. Faith survived the encounter, and Gregory was sentenced to prison yet again and won't be eligible for parole until he's 97 years old.
Imagine getting arrested.
See, because man, we know you hear the expression about everybody deserves a second chance, but he literally had a second chance and he wasted it, and it was a pattern that, or a cycle he just could not get out of, man. And to do that to the freaking pastor who was there for you, man, the daughter. Sickening case seekers. Did that to his own kids, man, and to the stepkids as well. That's just traumatizing them, man. Just like, what's the point? You know, everybody deserves a second chance, but it's people like that that makes people, that's why people sometimes say people don't deserve a second chance, and he's one of the prime examples.
For having a child with a dead body. Jennifer Burrows is a 26-year-old who was working at a morgue when she was arrested after a DNA test proved her child's father was a dead body she was supposed to autopsy. But it actually gets worse from here, because while Jennifer was working as an assistant pathologist at the morgue, she had relations with more than 60 bodies, belonging to men aged 17 to 71 years old. She did this for 2 years until it led to the birth of her son. Her son's father was a 57-year-old veterinarian from Texas, who passed away in a car accident in 2017. Jennifer was charged with 158 counts of indecent treatment of a corpse. Many psychologists and experts have debated why someone would do this. The reasons range from curiosity to severe mental illness. Some even believe Jennifer was suffering from psychosis. Alright, after all that, I don't really know how to end this video, so stay safe out there and follow for more.
This 000 call is absolutely horrifying. It's a call made by 26-year-old Jessica Camilleri after she'd just attacked her mother with 7 knives, taken off her head, and walked outside with it in her hand.
Hello, it's Alison from Police Emergency. We just received a call from this number.
Yes, I need you to get the ambulance and the police out immediately.
To which address?
128 Sunquare Avenue. Please come. I need you. I need you. I grabbed the knife off her because I thought she was going to stab me, so I stabbed her back. And I was so heated up with anger, I just kept stabbing her. And I took off her head.
Jessica suffers from multiple mental health disorders as well as ADHD and OCD. Her mother was trying to get her help after multiple incidents of Jessica assaulting people in public, pulling their hair, and threatening to shred their heads. She'd also made hundreds of phone calls to random numbers, saying things like, "I'll come to your house with a knife and shred your head to the neck." On this fateful night, July 20th, 2019, Jessica's mother Rita was at home with a younger relative, a little boy that hasn't been named due to his age. Jessica hated the fact that this younger relative was in the house, and her and her mother got into a heated argument. Jessica dragged Rita by her hair to the kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife and began stabbing over and over. Each time one of the knives broke, she'd grab another and continue the attack. At one point, the 4-year-old child that was witnessing the attack actually tried to save Rita. He jumped on Jessica and hit her over the head with the lid of a toy box. She threw him off and actually slashed his cheek and his arm and hand in the process. She then continued the attack on Rita. Most of the blows were aimed at Rita's face, head, and neck. She stabbed Rita through the eye socket, took off her nose and tongue, and then twisted her head clean off, walked outside with it in her hand, and went to a neighbour's house. She then made that 000 phone call, and when police arrived, she told them, "My mother's head is on the concrete over there. Can you sew it back on?" Jessica's trial began, and the court was played the 000 phone call as well as body cam footage that showed Jessica repeatedly asking police if they could bring her mother back to life and reattach her head. In 2020, Jessica was cleared of murder by a jury and instead convicted of manslaughter after her defence lawyers argued that she was impaired by a mixture of mental disorders. She was sentenced to 21 years with a non-parole period of 16 years. However, this year she appealed that sentence and she won. Her non-parole period was reduced, meaning she'll be eligible for parole in 2031 when she'll be 37.
See, cause that case that freaking twists and turns, bro. But to hear that freaking call, it's chilling, man. I don't see how people can just do that after they do like a horrific act like that. They can just be so calm on the phone talking and just saying what they did. She took off her mom's head. And the 4-year-old kid freaking traumatized. Like, he even knew, like, imagine it being a kid that young, but that kid knew something was going on and try to help. Like, 4 years old, having to see that. Scarring that kid for life, Seekers, man. Tragic case.
911, what's the location of the emergency? Help me! Yes, what address do you need help? I'm not on an address, I'm on a road, on Myers Road. He's trying to kill me! Which road are you on? Myers Road, Morgan City! Okay, do you have an address? Listen. Be late, come on, get a stop here now. Okay, who's trying to kill you? My husband! He's trying to take a shot. Okay, what? He's trying to kill me, come on! And then, what kind of gun does he have? Man. Man, take a deep breath so I can understand you. Man, I've already got help coming. I need you to tell me wire and what? On plan. I'm on plan. Wire. Just a minute. I'm walking. He shot me. Okay, you're on wire at Glenview Court? He shot me. Okay, where did he shoot you? In the chest. In the chest? He's over there.
She ended it all. I'm like, you know, the police, they on our phone, like I said, I'm talking. You gotta like try to freaking calm them down, but they going through a traumatic event, so you know they not thinking, man. So you trying to tell a person calm down in an event like that, I don't think that's gonna work. You just gotta try to work through it, Seekers in. But well, to her, she got freaking shot in the chest and she still was able to make that call. Just to show you the strength that she had. It's a freaking terrifying call too. She had a mate. I guess he was chasing after her in a turquoise truck, and she was on foot.
First ever footage of Madeleine McCann after the event.
Spotted on Portland May 2007, one day after her disappearance. This girl had heterochromia and was seen some miles from the crime scene.
What the hell happened? We're gonna dive deep into that one, Seekers.
And young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes.
It's the cruel case. What the hell? Secret, man, these cases, they be flashing sometimes, but the Mr. Cruel case, tell me down below, man, if you guys got any information on that, man. We're going to have to freaking look that one up, man, because he says it's a true comment addict, and it's enough for her to keep her up at night, but that case did, so something shocking must have happened in that case. We got to check that out.
This is one of the most high-profile pedophiles in Hollywood, Jeffrey Jones. You might recognize Jeffrey from a number of movies he's been in, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Hunt for Red October, and Beetlejuice. It's highly ironic to me that in a lot of the movies he was in, Jeffrey Jones played the villain, and he ended up being one in real life. So after his career flourished in the late 80s and 90s, let's fast forward to 2002. That year, Jeffrey was arrested for the possession of CP, if you know what I'm talking about, and he was accused by a 17-year-old boy of soliciting him to take nude photos. These charges get even more disturbing when you realize that the young boy who accused Jeffrey of soliciting him to take nude photographs was 14 when the charges were originally brought up and the accusations were made. Jeffrey pleaded no contest to the solicitation. He openly admitted that he had done this horrible thing. But once again, because of legal loopholes, because he admitted to this and pled no contest, that meant that the other CP charges were completely dropped. And what happened to Jeffrey after all this? Well, he got 5 years probation. He also had to go through counseling and register as a sex offender. And yes, if you're wondering, to this day he is still registered as a sex offender. You can find the records of all of this online. But it seems like Jeffrey didn't want to be known as a sex offender throughout his life. For the rest of his life, and he would end up being arrested twice for failing to update his sex offender registration. And in 2006, when working on the set of the movie Who's Your Caddy?, the community of Aiken, South Carolina, where the film was being filmed, complained to the government and complained that a sex offender was on set. This was due to the fact that families had been invited to visit the set with their children, and they had no idea that there was a predator lurking amongst the crew. To this day, a lot of people don't know what this guy has done, and even Justin Bieber posted a photo with him a couple years back, and a lot of people were obviously a little mad about that. And I think it's important to realize that these people are everywhere. They're your friends, your family, your neighbors. They're even celebrities. And at the end of the day, even the people that you look up to and have seen a million times on the silver screen could be the worst people you've ever met in real life. If you like these types of stories, give me a follow or listen to my wife and I's podcast, Murder in America.
This is what
Secrets, bro. Like I said, you gotta watch out for people like that. Like, just because he freaking pled that no guilty concept, like the other charges are freaking dropped. And because, like I said, you know, it's in Hollywood and stuff like that, so you don't know what went on behind the scenes to make those freaking charges drop. But they said he was used to playing freaking villains in the roles he was given. He was a villain in real life, man. The freaking a mirror of his freaking real life. Like I said, Seekers, bro, this media we be watching, man. The people behind the bro, there's always a story to tell, bro. And in real life too. Like I said, we think we're just watching a short movie, but that can affect freaking real life as well. And Justin Bieber took a picture with them? How is he still in the freaking still getting work after that? Behind the scenes, some stuff went on, Seekers, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
It's one of the most horrific stories I've come across, and that takes a lot. It's the story of Ottie Sanchez and baby Scotty. Viewer discretion is advised. It's graphic and it's disturbing. Ottie was a 33-year-old former healthcare worker in San Antonio, Texas. She'd undergone psychiatric treatment for schizophrenia, and she'd been in and out of psychiatric wards for mental health problems. She was suffering from these problems when she met her boyfriend Scott, who was also in the healthcare profession and also suffered from schizophrenia. Ottie fell pregnant, and in July 2009 she gave birth to a son who the couple named Scotty. Scott said she was a brilliant mother. She breastfed her son and cared for him like any mother would. Ottie absolutely doted on her son, but after his birth she began suffering from postnatal depression. Her mental health declined and she was admitted into hospital on July 20th. She was released less than a day later, despite the fact that she'd refused to take medication to help with her intrusive thoughts. She told her boyfriend Scott that she was suffering with PND and schizophrenia, and she'd be taking Scotty and going to live with her mum, sister and nieces. 5 days later, she brought Scotty to see his dad, but after asking for a copy of the birth certificate, she flew into a rage, took Scotty in his car seat, threw it into the passenger seat of the car and drove off. Scott reported this instance to the police, fearing for his son's safety, but the police merely marked it down as a disturbance. By now, Ottie was suffering from postpartum psychosis. She'd expressed to officers and medical professionals that she was hearing voices and she feared she may harm her son. Despite all of her concerns, Scotty was left in her care, and on July 26, 2009, the unthinkable happened.
It's a house. It's an emergency.
And what's going on? What's the emergency?
I'm sorry?
What's the emergency? What's going on?
She's hurt her child. Seriously, you hurt her child.
How did she do that? What's going on with the child?
The baby is dead. Jesus.
What did you say?
The baby is dead.
How old is the baby?
She's 3 weeks. Not even 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old?
Not even 3 weeks old.
What did she do to him?
She stabbed him. There's blood all over the head. There's, I don't know.
Where's your sister?
You said stay there, I'll be there. I'm sorry.
Priscilla, where's your sister?
She's just sitting on the couch. She's gone crazy last night. She was hearing voices. She kept bringing me the baby, and finally she calmed down, and I took her back the baby. And then now I just woke up to her screaming.
Okay, how old is the baby?
Not even 3 weeks old. She's baby's dead. The baby's dead. Please, somebody call.
Okay, there are other ways for you, okay?
No, nobody's dead. It's okay, baby. Just stay right there.
Is that your sister?
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You stand yourself? I told you to come to me.
Priscilla,
Yes.
where did she stab herself?
In the heart, in the stomach, she said.
Where did she see it?
I see a stab wound in her heart, yes.
When officers arrived at the home, they saw a scene that was so horrific they've had to seek counselling. Otti had used 3-bladed weapons to stab, kill, dismember and decapitate her 3-week-old son. She'd then eaten parts of his brain, his foot and his nose, saying that the devil had told her she had to do this in order to kill the demon inside her and stop an apocalypse. Otti had then stabbed herself and slashed her own throat. Otti was arrested and charged with capital murder, but after being examined by 3 separate doctors who all determined she was legally insane, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Otti was admitted to a state mental institution where she'll stay until the jury determines that she's not a risk to herself or others.
Bone chilling case seekers. Must be like a scary clown or something. What the hell was he doing? That case before that, the clown seekers, man, still sends a chill down through my spine. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support, man. Like I said, in order for the seekers to grow, I need you guys to do some simple things, man. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below, man. Tell me what you guys think of the video. Hit that post notification bell. That's it, man. Like I said, I appreciate the support, seekers, bro. Been uploading every day this month, man. Haven't missed a day, so I'm really proud of myself for that. Hopefully April, man, we can do the same thing. Keep this rolling. Guys gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, seekers. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, what we do is we break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank you guys for the support, subscribing to the channel, hitting that post notification bell, man, and hitting that like button, man. That helps us grow, that helps us grow our community together. So really appreciate the support. Let's do what we do best. Seek the truth.
This woman filmed her own murder after her husband found out she was having an affair. On December 2021, a fight broke out between 60-year-old Carrie Birmingham and his 48-year-old wife Patricia after he found out that she had been having an affair. During the argument, Carrie pulled out his shotgun, pointed at Patricia, and threatened to take her life. Patricia began recording their fight, and the last thing her husband said to her before he pulled the trigger was that she was going to meet Jesus. Carrie pled guilty, and even though they had video evidence of what he did, he was only sentenced to 10 years in prison with the possibility of parole in 5 years. And the reason for this is because the laws in Texas allows for a reduction in punishment if the crime was committed in sudden passion, which in this case, Carrie found out about his wife's affair and quickly reacted in this way.
Should they change that law, man?
On September 20th of 2016, Fidel Lopez and his girlfriend Maria Nemeth were inside of his apartment drinking. Maria ended up getting very intoxicated and they both ended up in a closet.
Okay.
They began to have intercourse and Maria had said the name of her ex-husband twice. Once Fidel had heard what Maria said, he became enraged. At that point, Fidel left Maria in the closet while he went through the apartment and began to break things. He had shattered a glass door and punched holes into the wall. Fidel then went back into the closet and Maria was lying unconscious. Fidel then decided to insert a beer bottle, a hair straightener, and both of his fists inside of Maria. Maria started to bleed and Fidel stated this is when he became a monster. Fidel then admitted to pulling out Maria's intestines. Maria had never gained consciousness during this time. He then carried Maria to the bathroom to put water on her face, but she still did not wake up. Fidel then washed the blood off of his hands and went outside to smoke a cigarette. He started to panic and then went to the bathroom to check on Maria. She was no longer breathing, so that's when he decided to call 911. Maria was taken to the hospital and she was pronounced dead. Fidel was sentenced to life in prison and ended up taking a plea deal to avoid the death penalty.
This is proof-free art alone. Okay, so this alien-looking
case.
creature was recently captured on video, and
Shapeshifter? We gotta see this.
I have no idea what this is, but it's absolutely terrifying. And this is also 4,000 feet in the ocean.
Ooh.
We need to talk.
4,000 feet? You guys see, because you know we haven't even explored like half of the ocean, so that could be a possibility, man. Is that legit? Or is that cap? You guys know what to do.
About the smiling dog. The smiling dog is a demonic creature that looks like a dog but has human teeth. Photos of this creature were sent to people all over the world. And once a photo was seen, the smile dog would enter the viewer's dream. And in the dream, you'll feel a need to ask the creature one question. What do you want? Then the smile dog will always reply with spread the word. After that, you'll have 3 days to grant the smile dog's wishes. And if you don't send any videos or photos of the smile dog to someone else, the photo you receive will start to deform, showing you a much more disturbing version of the smile dog that some people think is its true form. Some people have even said the smile dog's nightmares are so bad that its victims avoid sleeping altogether, weakening their mind and making them even more vulnerable till the smile dog comes out of their dreams and into their reality to further torment them. So send this video to someone else to spread the word of the smile dog.
Y'all doing that, Seekers, man? Spreading that smile dog picture? I ain't receiving it, so I don't know if that's Pastor Cat. That it.
Anytime I sort of revisit the story of Carly Gousset, I'm reminded that that is one of the most chilling stories that I've ever heard come out of California. This is Carly. She was pretty young at the time. She was only a junior in high school, and all of this took place up in Mono County. This is in California. Very, very rural. When I'm saying rural, I'm serious. Like, there's nothing out there. Carly didn't really have a lot of issues. I mean, most people reported that she was a pretty good kid, but in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, her friends noticed that she seemed paranoid. She felt like somebody was tracking her on her phone, but she never said who. Fast forward, she ends up going to a party. She does something at that party that I can't say, and then she has a complete meltdown, a total episode. She allegedly even bit her own boyfriend at the time and then ran off into the street, into the darkness, before getting picked up by her stepmother. From what I read, it sounded like the parents pretty much stayed up with her all night because they were waiting for her to come down from whatever it was that she took, but she never did, and they never called 911. Come the morning, she was gone. She was not in the house. If these are stories that interest you, we've got a whole show on it. If you want to go check that out for a full episode. Only a handful of witnesses claimed to actually see her. They saw her walking along the road towards the highway, and this is that highway. Like, it is, there's nothing out there, which means somebody must have put her in their car.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter in connection with the death of ice hockey player Adam Johnson. The 29-year-old Nottingham Panthers player's throat was cut by an opponent's skate blade when they collided during a match. Johnson received immediate medical attention with CPR performed on the ice and was taken to hospital but could not be saved. Detectives arrested the suspect on Tuesday, who remains in custody.
Dirty animal facts.
I think I remember I seen that video trend on Twitter. It's just like, I don't know, it was just like trending everywhere. People have saying that the guy did it on purpose. And that was just a disturbing video, man. So looks like you got justice.
You wish you never knew. Part 4. When a scorpion loses its tail, it also loses its anus. So if you pick it up by its tail, or it decides to sting something and can't let go, also then losing its anus. Not sure how it goes to the bathroom then, but that's not my problem. Madagascar hissing cockroaches are so loud they can actually be mistaken for an oncoming train. So next time you're walking somewhere and you think that you hear a train, it may just be a few cockroaches having a party. Don't forget to like and follow if you enjoy the series and want to see it.
Your wish is my command. Here are 3 animals that look like they're the spawn of Satan, but actually harmless. First up, we've got the basking shark. Now, don't get me wrong, if I saw this daddy behind me while I was swimming, I'd shit the equivalent to an average human in 1 year in 1 second. But believe it or not, they're actually chill. They're one of the boys. So yes, their mouth is so wide that they could theoretically fit your entire extended family in there. They're a passive predator, mainly feeding on zooplankton. And you won't end up in here because they're really not interested in humans. Bit fucking rude, but however, that isn't me saying you should go up to one and give it a big fucking hug. Maybe keep your social distance for this one. Next up, we've got what the fuck are you? This is an eye-eye. Now yes, if you were camping in the middle of the night and went out and saw this creature, I'd say you'd probably have a negative reaction. But this budget-ass gremlin and long middle finger is harmless. It doesn't go for humans, it goes for insects and grubs from tree trunks. Are you a fucking tree trunk? The worst it'll do is give you the biggest fuck-off middle finger of your life. Finally, we got the tailless whip scorpion. Oh yeah, quickly share the video or tag one friend. Love ya! Now you may recognize it from Harry Potter, but this little shit hurts it. They're harmless and not even venomous. Even provoked, they're chill. Elon!
Crazy animal facts, alright. Especially about that scorpion. I ain't messing with any of that, bro. Can't believe if you pick it up with its tail, that means you're picking it up by its anus, man. The more you know. Tap in with us, man. You can learn some facts.
Dad's TikTok videos help find his son's killer. This is 19-year-old Luis Carlos Laguna Jr., and he was born on September 8th of 2004. He was from Arlington, Texas, and he had a passion for music, dancing, and his Chevy Silverado. November 18th of 2023, Luis had attended a ranch party in Fort Worth, Texas with his friends. As they were leaving, they got into an argument with another group of individuals. It was strictly verbal, just argument back and forth. The two groups ended up separating, and Luis had went on his way with his friends. They all hopped into Luis's truck, and as the truck was leaving, someone shot behind Luis's truck and struck Luis. Luis was then transported to a local hospital in critical condition, but unfortunately passed away. The medical examiner's office confirmed that his cause of death was a gunshot wound to his head. Fort Police Department had stated that they were still looking for a suspect, and if anyone had any kind of information to please come forward. Weeks started passing by, weeks turned into months, and still they had nothing. Luis's father, Carlos Laguna Sr., had started to post videos on his TikTok. He would post the videos about memories with his son, then he started to talk about his son's case. Carlos did this in hopes that it would reach the right person, and that person would come forward with any information about his son's killer. About 5 months after Luis's death, a detective called Carlos to let him know that they had found Luis's killer. That person is 20-year-old Martin Ramirez Lopez, and he is currently sitting in jail charged with the murder of Luis. Detectives mentioned to Carlos that his TikTok videos did help and that someone had came forward. One thing about Carlos, he was not going to give up. Rest in peace to Louise, and he'd never be forgotten.
DJ said
Power of
his main
TikTok.
motive was
Do
that
some
David
good too.
smoked too much of their weed. So on the night of the 13th, David, DJ, Bradley, and Austin were all over at his house. They were hanging out in that camper trailer, they were smoking, hanging out, and DJ gave Eric some kind of signal. And then Eric got up and he left the room. He didn't stay out of the room for more than a few minutes. So I don't know if he was curious about how the murder was going or what, but he came back to be with the others eventually. Except at this point when he came back in, David wasn't in the room. DJ, Austin, and Bradley had locked him in a bathroom. Now David didn't seem too worried at this point. He actually thought his friends were just kind of messing around with him, maybe playing a prank, you get it. But then they let him out of the bathroom. They turned off the lights and they started beating him. And that's when David got really scared. He apparently begged them to stop, but nobody would. They even used to start pistol whipping him. So once they found a pretty remote area, they pulled David out of the car, they walked him into the woods, laid him on the ground, and then DJ shot him in the head. At least, that's how things happened the first time that Eric told his story. But the police made him come in for 2 other interrogations, and each time Eric gave them a confession, it would change. One of the biggest differences was that a couple of times Eric said that the killer was not DJ. It was someone who was listed in the police report as AB. Those are Austin Barrett's initials. By now, the detectives were convinced that Eric was the ringleader in all of this. Even if they didn't know who actually fired the fatal shot, they still had no idea what the motive was for David's murder. But they were confident that Eric was behind all of it. And that Austin, DJ, and Bradley helped him pull off this crime, and then helped dump the body.
Riley Strain's mom finally gave an interview to News Nation, and she talked about the final text that was sent from Riley to her about his drink. People have not talked about this case in a couple of weeks, and this is a pretty big break considering we still don't have footage from inside the bar. If you need a refresher on the case, Riley Strain, he was a fraternity brother who was down on a trip with his frat. He was down in Nashville, and he was kicked out of a bar. See him on camera when he hits the street level. He is hammered. He's completely gone, he's wandering aimlessly, he's alone. Eventually, he would vanish that night, and then following a 2-week search, his body was found without his pants, washed up in the Cumberland River. And a lot of dust that was kicked up on this case because a lot of people wanted to know about that drink, and now we have confirmation from his mother. And again, it's a lot to pack into one video. If you want some backstory on this, I've got an episode on it. Riley had apparently texted his mom that his drink at the bar, something was wrong with it. Adds even more suspicion to the GHB theory.
Marcus married his 15-year-old.
See, cause that's why, man, when you out and you stepping away, man, if you don't cover your drink, it's best to just order a new one because you don't know the type of time that people are on nowadays. They could try to slip some of your drink, try to take advantage. It's not even worth it, man. When you out, get a new drink or don't leave it at all, man. Or better yet, don't even drink. I always want to be aware of my surroundings.
Stepdaughter. My heart goes out to her. She was way too young to be dealing with anything like this. And even though their finances don't sound like they were especially stable, they kept having children. I mean, think pregnancy after pregnancy. Because by the time she was 26 years old, Elizabeth had given birth, and this is not an exaggeration, 11 times. Now, given that the first pregnancy was when she was 15, that works out to a baby every single year. I can't even imagine. It's literally like you're pregnant for 10 years straight. Yep. That would be horrific. I didn't mind being pregnant, but that would be horrific. I mean, it honestly would be hard on anyone, but she was also so young that it would make it that much more difficult. Marcus basically stole her childhood away from her in so many different ways.
Crazy. She had no chance to even live her life. 11 years? She was pregnant every 1 year, bro. A sick story, man.
On Monday, April 15th, 21-year-old Thomas Elliott was inside a Target pretending to shop when he first began following a woman around the store. This woman said that she was shopping for clothes for her grandbaby when she noticed Elliott was standing way too close to her. And then she saw that he was holding his phone in a weird angle, pointing straight at her. She said her first thought was that this man may have been trying to Bluetooth her information from her phone onto his phone. She gave him this weird look like, what the hell are you doing? So he backed off and apologized and said that he was only looking at clothes that was hung beside her. So this woman walked away and continued to shop, but she still felt like something was off. She then noticed he was getting really close to another woman in the store, the same way he was doing to her. She thought this was too much of a coincidence, so she followed him around at a distance and wanted to see what he was up to. At this point, she felt like this guy was being really suspicious, so she put her phone in the cup holder of her shopping cart and began recording. And that's when she caught Elliot bent down with his phone and put his camera underneath this woman's dress. Behind me is one of the most famous true crime cases ever. And to this day, it still remains unsolved. This one is called Who Killed JonBenet? And I am partnering with Lifetime to bring you guys the best of the best for true crime film. JonBenet was absolutely gorgeous, and she was in many beauty pageants. She had a loving mother and father and also a brother. Unfortunately, JonBenet was mysteriously murdered. There were several accusations against the parents, but no one really knows the real truth. JonBenet was absolutely precious and so kind with her personality. She was loved by so many. This has been one of the most talked about true crime cases over the years. And to be honest, it's one of the most intense ones. I feel this Lifetime movie did a great job portraying this case, and I think it's one that everybody should watch. You guys can watch this at mylifetime.com/watchripped.
This picture famously surfaced from 1941 because something looks very off about it. This guy, a lot of people cite this picture as proof of time travel because not only does he seemingly look very modern and out of place, but he also appears to be holding a camera that's very small, too small for any commercial grade camera of 1941. But let me explain why this is debunked. The modern t-shirt he's wearing, it's a logo for the Montreal Maroons, which was a hockey team from the 40s. The glasses were also available. They had protective side shields in the 40s too. But what about that camera? It's small enough to be a digital camera, but they did not have commercial grade cameras that were this small in the 40s. Incorrect. Kodak confirmed of a rare model of a small portable camera that was limited, but it was available by 1941, which makes this photo completely plausible.
They debunked that quick. Could there still be more truth to that, or could they debunk it because they don't want nobody else looking into the truth? Dig deeper into that story. What do you guys think?
Who would think selling unlimited 10-cent beers to sports fans is a bad idea? Not the Cleveland Indians when they played against the Texas Rangers on June 4th.
10 cents? It's a deal of a lifetime.
60,000 cups of beer being sold to the 25,000 people in attendance. That was incredibly problematic because there were only 50 security guards.
It ain't going
Fans
well.
were growing increasingly intoxicated, throwing bottles and firecrackers on the field.
Whoa.
There were flashers and streakers. And this all culminated in the 9th inning when a fan tried to steal a player's cap and the Rangers came to their teammates' defense. The fans rushed the field with knives, chains, and stolen stadium seats. Players defended themselves with bats as they retreated into their dugouts, and the umpire declared the Rangers the winner by forfeit. Though they would put a 2-cup per person limit, the next 10-cent beer night was a month later.
They kept doing it. They didn't even learn from their mistakes. It's crazy. They're doing that nowadays. You know that ain't happening.
Look at Miranda seeming uncomfortable while Dan is touching her.
What can't you say? I mean, honest to God, I could go on and
All
on
this stuff coming out about
all the
him.
wonderful qualities about Miranda, but I know time permits.
Like,
and
why
I
is
will
he
consolidate
hugging her
it
like
just as
that?
one thing. In all the years I've known Miranda, I guess 9 years now, she hasn't changed. Miranda hasn't changed one bit. All those awesome
Like,
qualities
the need
she
to
had
touch
when
her?
she was 9 years old, all the goodness, all those smiles.
Let me know if I'm overreacting. And make sure you hit that follow button because I have a whole deep dive coming.
Oh, he been getting
Breaking news in the
exposed.
case of what some are calling the Milwaukee serial killer. As you may remember, earlier this month, a critical missing persons warning was issued for Sade Robinson. She was last seen on Monday, April 1st. The following morning, authorities were notified about a car fire near her home. After further investigation, authorities were able to determine that the vehicle fire was that of Robinson's. Later that day, authorities say a community member located a leg in a park. This park was less than 10 miles away from Robinson's home. Furthermore, authorities said that Robinson went on a date on April 1st, the same day that she went missing. Authorities say that the two met at a restaurant where the suspect worked. The bartender who used to work there with the suspect said that they were seen having, quote, casual conversations. This was before leaving together. The two then reportedly went to another bar before they went back to the suspect's home. On Friday, 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson was charged in connection with the crime. The following day, the sheriff's department located another body part near the scene of the car fire. During the weekend that followed, additional remains were also located near a site where the remains had been discovered on April 5th. Authorities said cell phone data ultimately led them to the arrest. After taking the suspect into custody, they said that there was BLOOD located inside of his home. However, they have now released information stating that that BLOOD is not the victim's. A lieutenant who is a former Milwaukee investigator and who also worked on the Jeffrey Dahmer case said that this is not surprising to him. He said, quote, they haven't said whose BLOOD it is, but it could be his. Really? He finished by saying, quote, I don't think this leads to the suspicion that there are other victims out there. At this time, he has pled not guilty and is being held on a $5 million bond. To stay up to date on this case, make sure you click the playlist below. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
Here's 5 celebrities who didn't know killed somebody and what exactly went down. The last 2 are particularly weird and creepy. Tennis superstar Venus Williams got into a car accident in June 2017, which left 1 man dead. Williams was driving in Palm Beach, Florida, when she rushed into an intersection despite not having the right of way, and she was T-boned by the car. The car's driver survived, but her husband, 78-year-old man, was sent to the ICU, where he died 2 weeks later. Alec Baldwin discharged a prop gun that led to the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of his movie Rust in New Mexico on October 21st, 2021.
Saw that.
Authorities with the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office said that they were investigating the incident and trying to determine what type of projectile was discharged exactly. No charges have been made since the incident, and Baldwin, who was both a star and producer for the film, cooperated with authorities. Baldwin even released a statement the day after the incident to let the public know how devastated he was, as well as the fact that he was fully cooperating with the police investigation and that he was in touch with the late cinematographer's family and husband. In 1993, Snoop Dogg and his bodyguard were charged with the murder of a rival gang member. Snoop was defended by attorney Johnny Cochran and was acquitted after years and years of court battles. In 1978, Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious fatally stabbed his girlfriend Nancy Spungen. When he was first questioned, he claimed to have found her dead on the bathroom floor of their hotel room, but he later admitted that he had stabbed her but didn't actually intend to kill her. Although he was charged with her murder, Vicious never actually stood trial as he died of a drug overdose while out on bail. In 2012, Smallville and Sons of Anarchy actor Johnny Lewis broke into the home of an 81-year-old woman called Catherine David, ransacked her home, and then killed her and her cat. He was never questioned as he actually fell or jumped from a roof and died straight after. It was later revealed that he had been born into a Scientologist family and worked for the church's drug rehab group, Narconon. Despite a history of drug abuse, though, the autopsy report showed that he actually had no drugs or alcohol in his system at the time of his death.
It's like there's some dark secrets, man, behind the Hollywood wall, man, that I learned every single day watching these videos, you guys. That first story you saw, I never even knew something like that even happened, man, to the Williams sisters. Damn. Hollywood is, it's like so dark, man, behind the scenes. You gotta seek the truth, man.
Have you ever heard the crazy story on how the show To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen got canceled? If you've never seen that show before, it was so ahead of its time. So basically, Chris Hansen and his team would go online and pretend to be children or teenagers and chat with online predators, and then invite the creeps over, saying like, my parents aren't home. Then the creeps would go over to what they thought was a child's home, but be greeted with Chris Hansen and get arrested. Typically the men that they would catch on the show would be lowlifes with no real influence in society at all. Until Texas District Attorney Bill Conrad started chatting with one of the show's online decoys, sending inappropriate photos to what he thought was an underage boy. On every single episode of the show, they had to convince these online creeps to actually meet up in person. But Bill didn't want to meet in person. This is complete speculation, but I'm assuming that the network knew that catching a district attorney on their show would be really good for ratings. And since Bill did not want to meet, they took camera crew, police officers, SWAT teams, and raided Bill's home. This is unlike anything the show had done before. And with cameras rolling, before they were even able to speak with him, Bill Conrad unalived himself. People that were at the scene apparently immediately started talking about how this was going to make really good TV. And Dateline did go on to air an episode that featured Bill. But there was some controversy, of course. The judge that signed the search and arrest warrant apparently said that they were never made aware that a reality TV show was involved in this arrest at all, and said if they had known, they would never have signed it. Experts have also said that the raid was unnecessary drama for the cameras and put everyone involved in unnecessary danger. And that the investigation was just rushed in general because this was reality TV and they wanted a quick turnaround for the episode. Bill's sister did go on to file a wrongful death lawsuit against NBC, which was settled for an undisclosed amount. And within months of this all happening, the very popular TV show was canceled. There's so much controversy about how this all went down, but what do you think? And if you were a fan of this show, did you ever hear about this before?
Canceled it, man, because they caught somebody person involved. And they tried, and it wrongly, man. They tried to catch it, but when that money got involved, man, they tried to do it for ratings. It seems like they kind of lost focus on what it really was supposed to be about, man. Like she said, that was ahead of its time. I imagine how would a show like that go like today in today's society? It's sad, but they probably have an episode probably like every day. Crazy. Seekers, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, man. Like I said, if you guys been checking out my style, kind of been, you know, cutting back on the chatting, man, just letting the videos play out and saying my thoughts until afterwards, cutting down on the pausing as well, man. I'm just trying to make the viewing experience just the best for you guys. You deserve the best, and I want to continue to get better and better with each video going forward. Guys, stick with me, man. Hit that like button, subscribe button, hit that post notification bell. Also follow my socials down below, man. So let's go to Seekers. That's how we can connect and stay together, man. Guys can catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.